7 games coming your way today in this FA Cup third round weekend, and one of the highlights is the one at the Emirates as Arsenal take on Manchester United. Looking ahead to this one and joining us this morning, it is former United player, Premier League winner and FA Cup finalist with Aston Villa, Kieran Richardson, joining us. How are you, Kieran?
Hi, Kieran.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good,
very,
thanks.
very well. Thank you so much.
You know what? I actually forgot about that FA Cup final, Aston Villa. You reminded me.
What do you mean? You
I know we got smashed in the final, but you actually reminded me I was in the final.
How do you forget that?
Kieran, I was in the final against Man United in '94, and I've been trying to forget that and losing 4-0.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel, mate.
Right, well, hopefully you remember your time at Manchester United then, Kieran. Obviously a huge game coming up today when you bear in mind the sort of time that Man United are in right now with this new manager, Ruben Amorim, coming in. He's only seen 4 wins from his first 12 games in charge, but he is sort of hell-bent on playing a certain style of football and clearly doesn't quite have those players yet in mind that can play this style. But in general, what have you made of this tenure, the start to his reign at United?
Honestly, it was always going to be a hard start. You know, we can see the team they've got right now, you know, it hasn't been performing. Not just this season, for many years even. So, but I feel like with the new manager, he looks good. Yes, they're not in form. You know, the last 5 games they've lost 4 and drawn 1 at Liverpool. But you know, seeing that performance they put in at Anfield, we can see that you know he can get it right and the players can produce. But it's just about producing on a consistent basis, you know, and just growing as a club and getting bigger and better again.
Kieran, the one obvious thing at Anfield was that Onana in goal seemed to, well, more often than not, he didn't take risks, as in passing the ball out from the back religiously all the time, which United have been guilty of, like many teams are playing in different levels of football. But they decided to sort of bypass Liverpool's press whenever they could. And they were rewarded with a sort of a style that, OK, he's not going to adopt all the time, but against the opposition, it was the right thing on the day to do.
Yeah, definitely. As you said in the past, Onana, we've seen him always playing out of the back, and you know, it can get on top of the players, and it can cause a lot of pressure. But I'm sure the manager gave him direct information to bypass that this time, and it worked for Man United, and they may continue doing that. You know, when I watch football now and I see the goalkeepers doing that, I do get nervous and it can backfire. But, you know, the style of play now is just the managers want the players playing from the back.
I mean, we have seen, and I know not all of it has been under Ruben Amorim, but we have seen some results this season that has been surprising, maybe based, for example, City, the 2-1 victory at the Etihad. And you mentioned that Liverpool draw most recently as well, that, again, many would have expected Liverpool to win that convincingly, just because of the form Liverpool have been in all season and the way that Manchester United have been playing as well. So we have seen shoots of promise, shall we say, at parts during this season from this team. If you were looking to start again with this team, where do they need to rebuild?
It's a hard question. I personally, I don't actually think it's just the team. I think it's everything.
Yeah.
Training ground, stadium. I know they're trying to move stadium now. A new training ground, even, or updating it. It's just everything, you know, with this club. We know how massive Manchester United is, and as you said there, they showed promise in a few games. But let's be honest, that's unacceptable for a club of that magnitude. This team should be, you know, up there fighting for the Premier League. But you know, they haven't won the league in over 10 years. So it's a reality check, and it's sad seeing such a massive club, you know, where they are right now. But they can turn it around. You know, they've got new people coming in on the backroom staff, and I wish them well. But do I see it anytime soon? No, I don't. But it can be done. You know, you look at Chelsea. Go back two years ago, they were like diabolical. And this season, when you see them, you actually think, oh, you know what? I know they haven't got results in the past few weeks, but we were actually saying they actually might contend for the Premier League this year. And so it shows you that you can turn it around with the right signings. But I feel like with Ruben, he does need time, and he does need a lot of windows. You know, you go back in history, Man United could go out and get the best players in 1 or 2 windows. Now, you know, they're competing with so many great clubs in the league, then might not be the first choice. So I think the manager does need a lot of windows to try and get his right players in the right team he needs.
Yeah, it's quite strange, Kieran, because I laugh sometimes because, if you count all the competitions, there's 4, and yet you could name 15 to 20 clubs who think they should win something. Exactly. Every fan base, Newcastle fans will think we need to win a cup. There's Spurs fans, there's, Chelsea fans. It's just fans all across the Premier League, Aston Villa, that feel like they have to win something. So all these managers are basically fighting on 4 fronts, and that's it. And I just think, come on, we must get real in football sometimes. That it's not a given you win things.
No, it's not a given. But I think it's great, though, Tony, because it shows that, these clubs are progressing. And then when you look back in the past, there's only like 2 or 3 clubs you'd expect to win the Premier League now or a cup. But now, you're looking at Aston Villa, they're having a great time, Newcastle. These clubs, they were never really around it. But now it's great that these teams are around it. And I think it's great for the Premier League.
Obviously, going to Arsenal today, they come into this off the back of that disappointing first leg defeat to Newcastle at home in the League Cup. So they were looking to make amends, certainly, in this one. They did beat Manchester United last month, early December, 2-0 at the Emirates in the Premier League. What have you made of Arsenal? There's a lot of talk about, we're getting to a stage now where Arteta has to win something. I know he won the FA Cup in his first season, but since then he's not been able to win anything other. He pushed Manchester City all the way in recent seasons in the title race. But what have you made of Arsenal, first of all? And also, does Arteta now need to start winning something?
Well, first of all, I'm an Arsenal fan.
Oh, hello. I did not know this.
Just so you know. Honestly, I think, as you said, last 2 seasons we pushed Man City all the way. But in the day, we come up short. But Man City are a great side. I like Arteta, and I think Arsenal are going in the right direction. Obviously we haven't won the league in a long, long time. But yes, we spent a lot of money, and at some point we do have to start asking questions. But honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I feel like we're going in the right direction. We are playing good football, and I know the league's not over yet. We still might win the league this year. I know Liverpool look so strong and got the game in hand and are clear by a few points, but anything could happen in football. But honestly, I'm happy with Arteta. I do like him. But I obviously, as an Arsenal fan, we do need to, in the day, win the league. And that is a massive thing for us.
Look, Kieran, Arsenal are well ahead of Manchester United at the moment, aren't they? If you look at the results in recent years, their position in the table, they feel like Arteta's much closer. And Amorim's got to get to where Arteta is. No,
you're so right there, Tony. It does feel like that, watching it from the outside, that we are a bit more closer to winning the Premier League than Manchester United. But in the day, we still haven't won it, and nor is Manchester. But as you said, Amorim coming in now, he needs time to turn it around and put his stamp on the team. I'm hoping Manchester do give him that time. He does need it. We've seen what he's done in his previous club. He looks like a good manager. But this is England. It's hard. It's not easy.
You want to ask the question, Nat? Go on. Because Kieran's now admitted he's an Arsenal fan. He's played for Man United.
Go on.
You've got to say to him, how's it going to go today then? Natalie loves asking all that question.
Yeah. Honestly, obviously Arsenal are at home. We are the favourites. But as you said, Manchester United went and Liverpool got a good result. They showed fight. I'm expecting an Arsenal win. But I'm sitting on the fence. I want both teams to do well. Obviously, I've got my allegiance with Manchester, but I'm going to enjoy it. It should be a great game. Both teams. Arsenal have won the cup 14 times, Manchester United 13 times, and both clubs do need to win silverware. So it'll be good, for one of the clubs to go on and win this cup because they both need it.
Before we let you go, Kieran, what are you up to these days?
So these days, I own a watch company. It's called Broadwalk Group. I opened it in 2017. So what? That's nearly 8 years now.
Wow.
I buy high-end luxury watches and sell them across the world. So if you ever need a watch, contact me.
Well, mates rates, of course, yeah, Kieran?
Yeah,
just checking.
Of course.
Checking. Well, listen, it's been fabulous to talk to you. Thank you for joining us
Thanks
today.
for giving us your time.
Thanks, guys. Take care, all right? Bye-bye.
Oh, very good. Oh, dear.
Weekend Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.